Hi, and welcome to the Boat Princess podcast. My name is Nicky Vaux, and I'm your host. I am a boat owner, a marina owner, a director on the Marina Industries Association, and a huge advocate for boating. In this series, I'm sharing the stories from every nook of the boating industry with the intention of encouraging more women to join me and for more women to get behind the helm too. I want to share the experience and opportunities of boating, of the boating industry, and I want you to join me as I bring the conversations and answer all the questions you've had. Boating is not just for the glamorous and rich and famous. It's full of beautiful and interesting people making the most of our natural environment and getting out there, enjoying the waterways. So let's let off the lines, take over the helm, and escape to the world of boating. So, welcome to another episode of the Boat Princess podcast. I am here at Princess Yachts in Plymouth, and the lovely Charlotte, who's been showing us around today, I thought I'd grab her and do an interview. She didn't know this was coming, so she's going to join us and talk to her about her role. Charlotte Jones is marketing coordinator here at Princess Yachts. She's in the tender age of her 20s. And this is her first real full-time position. So, Charlotte, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you here, darling. So, tell me, your childhood. Was there some boating in your childhood?
There was a lot of kayaking and a lot of being in the sea. I'm from Cornwall, so if anyone knows where that is, it's at the very, very bottom of the UK, in the bottom of the southwest. And yeah, if you kind of grew up there, you just live in the sea, essentially. Kayaking, surfing, sea swimming, all that kind of thing. So yeah.
So you have a general love for the ocean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely somewhere I spend a lot of my time.
And your parents encourage that, or that's just
for sure. Yeah, we moved down when I was about 10 from Hertfordshire, which has no sea. So yeah, we really sort of embraced it when we moved and just spent a lot of time at the beach, really, and it's basically the best place to be, really, I think.
Awesome. And when you went to school, was there a vision of what you wanted to do in your future at all?
A little bit. I've always I suppose it's quite different to what I do now. I've always been very focused towards the dramatic arts and normal arts as well. So I kind of knew that I was quite good at art in school and like graphics and kind of design, I guess. And then so when I came here, my role has sort of evolved a bit more to become kind of the person who does like all our internal comms and posters for the sites and designing the Instagram and stuff like that. So I have sort of brought that knowledge and that love into my role, which is really cool, actually.
So is that something you studied at uni as well?
Yeah, so I went to Falmouth Uni, which is also in Cornwall, so but even further down the bottom from where I was. And I did illustration there for 3 years, which was a lot of fun. And we got to learn a lot about graphic design whilst we were there. So kind of using, the Adobe products and that thing and all that knowledge I've brought to my position here. So, yeah.
So the position that you actually have isn't one that you actually came to an interview for, is it?
No, I came to interview for the sales graduate role. And it was a really intense day, and it was on my birthday as well, which was quite a lot. So we had to do various tasks and activities. I think there was about 8 of us in the interview, and we basically, I think they were testing us to see if we could work together as a team and that kind of thing. And I started talking a lot about social media when I was doing it, and I think they sort of saw that and thought, oh, she's into her marketing, but she just doesn't really know it. So then they asked me to do a project for marketing about how I would launch a boat campaign, is what they asked me to do on social. And then I had to present that to Kieran and Nicola, who were the top guys in marketing at the time. And then they asked me to join as marketing graduate instead.
That's great.
Yeah, it was good.
So what do you love about your role that you do here?
I really like how varied my role is. So it's definitely grown since I've been here. They didn't have someone doing social media full time before. And obviously, sort of because of my age, I'm quite into social. So it was quite good. I was sort of given the reins to do that and kind of try and build it to what it is now, which I think I've done quite a good job about it. The Instagram's definitely grown for sure. And we're just kind of, it's so important. Social media is super important in industry, and especially if you're like targeting people that they may not have the wealth now, but they're going to have the wealth soon. They're definitely going to be on social now, and they will be the people using the social in the future. So I think that's really, really important. Other things I do is a lot of comms work. So that's internal and external. With the internal, we do things like, I work with health and safety a lot. So it'll be even posters like, use the blade this way and don't use it this way. And I'll have a little graphic of a hand of like someone showing you how to use the blade correctly and things like that. So it spans from that all the way to booklets and external presentations, into external comms as well. When you guys are here, there's like factory visits. We have journalists come in. We have dignitaries, various government bodies come in, and it's sort of, showing them the business and all the really great work that we do here. And then the other side of my role is sometimes I get to go out on the boats with the assets team and help them with photography and video and capturing stuff for like reels and things like that on Instagram. So yeah, it's super varied and I really like it because I kind of get to do something different every day, which I think I need. It's really enjoyable to like have a bit of variety.
Yes, you come across as a very cluey girl, so you need to be kept entertained with different things to do, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So there was something really important you said in that, and that is because the boating industry, a lot of our clients are older. And people within the boating industry tend to think, therefore, that why are we doing Instagram? Why do we need to do Instagram? They don't look at Instagram. And that point you raised about, sure, maybe our client isn't looking at Instagram right now, but the client that will own a boat in 10 years' time is looking at Instagram right now. Yeah. So that we talk about buying real estate in people's heads, don't we, of our brand. And I think that is exactly what you're doing right now. And it may not, they may own a smaller boat now, but you want them to own.
Yeah, and even their kids as well. It's kind of, you say you've got someone that's, 16, for example, and their dad owns a Princess maybe they've got a Y class, they go out on the weekend. They will hopefully accumulate that wealth as well, from their parents and aspire to have, jobs where they can earn that kind of money. And they're going to be using Instagram. TikTok, we've just started on TikTok as well, which is really good. At Princess Yachts, go follow us. So that account, we're kind of delving into there because, the big brands like Gucci and Louis Vuitton, they've got the idea, they're on there. And yes, their product is obviously, a lot less of a higher price point, but it's still that sort of aspirational lifestyle kind of thing that's, is super important to target that audience now because you are then keeping Princess in their mind and targeting them for the future, essentially.
Yeah, that's great. And is there a sort of, how do you determine the feel that you're putting across of Princess Yachts?
Yeah, so with us, I think with our company, we're more about sort of friends and family. So we really want to, be an approachable brand. We don't want to be a brand of closed door and only certain people can go on the stand. I think as a brand, we're very friendly and open, and we really want to have that conversation with people. And that's kind of what we're trying to put across through our social media as well. So with tone of voice, for example, we're not going to make it too technical because then that puts a lot of barriers up for people. So we want to make it easy for people to understand, even the fans as well as the people that, can buy. I think it's important to include everyone. So for example, with the photo shoots, we usually have families on board having fun, or we'll have a group of friends. I think it's really important to take that sort of pretentious air that I think a lot of people have with yachting, because everyone can have fun on a boat. Like, it's a lot of fun going out on the water. So we try to use like bright colours and things like that to reflect it, but also keeping it within the brand. And I think that's something we try to do, try and make it aspirational, especially on the Instagram as well. Like the way that we design the posts, and try and show our global audience that we may be crafted in Plymouth, but we are global as well. I think all those things are really important aspects of it.
I agree. And you mentioned a term there, open door. I really do find you as a brand an incredibly open door. When we did the factory tour earlier with Bill today, I said, is there any rules on photographs, videos, anything like that? No, take what you like. Yeah. That's fine. Go ahead. And the fact that you welcome people like myself who are talking about boats in a different way to a different audience, all those sorts of things. You've been very encouraging and positive and said, yep, come on, this is what we've organised for you, all those sorts of things. And I think that's incredible about Princess. You really are open door.
Yeah, we really like the customers to be able to come over and see as well. Obviously, in the past 2 years, that's been kind of difficult. But we're really encouraging people to come over because I think you can see the boat and it looks amazing when it's all finished. But when you know the backstory, that's just like next level. It's mind-blowing the amount of work that goes in. And I think we also tried to show that, we use a lot of our craftsmanship in our video, especially on our YouTube channel with the Inside Princess series. That really shows you all the different elements of what we do, and it's a big production.
It really is. It's and mega like scale. You say, it is mind-blowing. Yeah. And I mean, when you look at the level of organisation involved in the level of detail that everything is done, the number of times you put the little green dots and everything, and go, okay, that's not good enough.
I know, I've been here 3 years, and still when I go down the yard, I'm just like, it's amazing. All the different work and all the different skills. It is just mind-blowing, yeah.
Yeah, there's an incredible amount. And there's so many people working here. And they're all amazing. And they all look at you and smile.
Yeah.
They're all
friendly
gorgeous. Yeah, they're lovely. They're lovely. So if you were... how would you talk to yourself, say, 5 years ago? If you wanted to get into this industry, what would you tell that person, that woman out there, to say, well, I'd suggest doing this?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really know what marketing was 100% when, like, at school we didn't do anything like that, and we didn't do anything like that at college either. Like, it just wasn't really an option. So I actually did a lot of research into marketing before I sort of approached Princess. I think, I didn't really look at the industry. If I'm honest, I didn't really look at it and go, oh God, that's really male dominated, so I don't want to go into that. It didn't really even cross my mind, to be honest. So I kind of just went for it. I don't think you should put any restrictions, on your mind. Like, if there's something that you want to do, then I think just go for it. And I wouldn't be worried about whether you think there's going to be too much like gender inequality or anything like that, because I personally think, the world is hopefully becoming a lot more open and we should all be equal and you should go for it. There shouldn't be any need to like step back. Like, I'd just go for it. That's what I would say, basically.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in, arts and things, but you're not quite sure what you want to do, I would definitely have a look at a more broader spectrum. And when you come out of school, maybe, do a bit more research than what the teachers just tell you, because they might be quite closed-minded in what they think as well. Try and go on the internet and have a look at all the different things that are available, because there are some just crazy jobs out there that you didn't know existed before, really.
I love that. So just taking a whole positive, I can do this attitude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you couldn't do it. Yeah. Basically, just go for it. Just give it a go, and if it fails, then try something else.
I love that. That's so good. So what would you like to see? How would you like to see your career develop? Where would you like to go from here?
I think I'd really like to get more into the asset side. I'd also really like to make social more of a bigger thing. There's obviously going to be restraints with that, but I think we could do a lot more to really build the brand even more and also push a bit more globally. I think with the Asian market, for example, we're doing really well there, but we don't have much content that would necessarily work for them. Like it's quite a different market. I think that'd be really interesting to explore their market and kind of understand what they want to see and what's more culturally appropriate for them. And then sort of taking that aspect and trying that in lots of different ways, different continents. I really want to see more diversity really in what we produce, because it's people from all over the world. We all have different cultures and things like that, and I think it's really important to showcase that those cultures can also work within yachting instead of it just being like white male 50.
Yes,
because that's what most of it is.
Yeah.
And I don't really see why it needs to be that like that, because people have wealth all over the world. So
absolutely.
Why don't we show that?
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't relate to advertising until we've seen somebody in it that looks like us, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
So that's actually a really important point. Yeah, that's something to think about.
Definitely.
Across the world of boating advertising.
Everything as well, but especially yachting, I think. There's a lot of people still with that very closed mind outlook, and it doesn't need to be like that. And if we don't change, then neither will yachting. Yachting won't progress and grow either.
Yeah, because those 50-year-olds will not be here anymore. Oh, that's me. Hang on.
You're a woman, you're fine.
So, what, you have a team that helps around you?
Yeah, we're a team of, oh goodness, I think there's 7 of us. And we're quite different, but we're actually a massively female team. There's I think seven women in my team, which is great. I'm gonna have to count that now. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's seven women in our team. We've got 2 ladies. One's in America and one's in Hong Kong as well. So that's the marketing team. And it's quite rare. I think we're probably the biggest female team in the whole of Princess, of all 3,000 of us, actually.
Yeah.
But it's quite nice. We're all very creative and open, and we all have different sections. So we have the comms team, which is myself and Emma. And then you have the dealer marketing team, which is Danny, Chloe, Wilsie and Andrea. They're the ones that have the international ladies as well. So they will help with the distributors and their sort of day-to-day needs. And then we have a boat shows team. And then we have sort of the assets team is kind of half on that as well as the comms team. And, they'll do like our planning the videography and photography, as well as working with design to produce like technical documents and that kind of thing. A bit like your sort of car brochure, that kind of thing. So yeah, we're a small team for such a big brand, but we all work really well together, to be honest. Really nice environment, and being back in the office is amazing. Yeah. It's so nice to be back with everyone, because we were working from home for so long, and now we're all back. And if you need to be at home, you can be at home. It's very flexible. It's good, actually, a good working environment.
Yeah, but it's nice to get that camaraderie and that helping each other in the same space again, back again, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. The only thing is I'm spending too much money on nice lunch now. Getting Deliveroo. But
fair enough.
That's fine.
That is such a 20s thing, Deliveroo.
Oh, I love Deliveroo.
My sons do that all the time,
it's
Deliveroo.
So expensive, but I've got no money now.
So, your brochures, by the way, are fantastic, I have to say.
Thanks. Blood, sweat and tears go into those.
You also have focused, I've noticed lately, on a lot of video. A lot of behind the scenes, a lot of information about what you do here and all those sorts of things. Can you tell me a little bit about those programs that you do?
Yeah, so the video is kind of, I mean, we all know, well, if if you're in marketing, that video is your main source that people digest on a daily basis. I mean, TikTok, for example, is just video, so that's a great example of it. with the behind the scenes content, that again harkens back to that message that we're an open brand, we're quite approachable, and we want people to see all the great work that goes into building the yachts. And it's not about just the finished product. So yeah, the video is really important, and we just want to keep doing that and keep expanding it. Whether that be at boat shows or product films. I'd quite like to do some how-tos as well. I thought that might be quite good for people, like how to launch your dinghy, for example, how to launch a jet ski. I thought that would be a good series to do. So yeah, that's kind of our main medium, just because it's easy to digest, and also with video, it doesn't always have that language barrier as well. So it really works for all our distributors across the world that, we could either put subtitles on it, or it doesn't have to have any video at all, can just be, sound, any words at all, sorry, that was. So yeah, it's a super important medium, and we're just going to keep growing and expanding it, to be honest.
So how can people see those?
So we are all over the internet. Our YouTube channel is probably the best place, which again is just Princess Yachts. And that's where you can find the longer form video, which is a lot more in depth, a lot more factory footage, as well as product. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Instagram, all at Princess Yachts. And on there, we sort of tailor it a little bit. So the Facebook is more it's got fan base, so there'll be a lot of product on there, but we also will talk a lot about recruitment on there as well. Same with LinkedIn. Twitter is a product, but also we'll go into a bit more community stuff that we're doing, things with the government, that kind of vibe. Instagram is just beautifully aesthetic, and the videos will have reels of boat shows and new products coming out. We also have little interview series. We did a series where we sort of focused on what employees do outside of work, and how that sort of links to their job now, and how that kind of makes them special. Like they don't just work here, they have like a special thing they do outside of work as well. I was actually lucky enough to be part of that series as well, which was called Exceptional People. So yeah, that's where you can find all our content. And yes, like I said, we just started on TikTok, so I think we've only got 2 videos at the moment, but we'll grow definitely, because I'm slightly obsessed with TikTok now. So yeah.
So who's doing all the dancing?
Well, the marketing team do love a boogie, I will say that, but that's definitely not going on there. Not quite content appropriate, I don't think.
Oh, I love it. So you live here in Plymouth, or?
Yeah, I do now. I used to commute because where I lived in Cornwall was only an hour away, but the traffic is horrific. So yeah, I live in Plymouth now.
Yeah.
I live about 5 minutes up the road. It's great.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
Yeah, not a bad place to live and work, is it?
It's pretty cool, yeah. In the summer, especially, like once I finish work, I just go to the beach usually. Let's just go and have a sea swim or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice. Or you can go up on the moor. Moor's really beautiful as well if you want to walk. So yeah, it's a pretty cool place to live, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it you love most about working in the boating industry generally?
I think I really love the variety of it. It's great when I do get to go out, because just being out in the water is incredible. Wind flowing through your hair is all really nice.
Yeah.
And also our versatility of product makes it really exciting. The other thing I love about boating is the global aspect. I'd really like to, I love traveling anyway, but I'd like to expand that and go and see how different people do boating around the world. I think that'd be really interesting to do. So I think that's why this industry is great, because it's so broad and it's not just sort of fixed in one point, and hopefully we'll continue to grow outwards as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Charlotte, thank you so much for chatting with us today. You've been amazing, given that we've just landed you on this microphone.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock.
No prep whatsoever. But she's in theatre, darling, so she's fine.
Oh, yes, of course.
And she's on the Exceptional People series. So that's really, really cool. So thanks, Charlotte. Anything you'd like to say to the women that we'd like to get into the boating industry or into boating out there?
I would say just go for it. Don't put any mental barricades up. And if someone says you can't do it, just try and do it anyway, I guess.
Love it. Love it. Thanks, everybody, for your ears. It's been lovely to have you here at Princess Yachts in Plymouth. And I hope to see you on the water soon. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Boat Princess podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you'd like to know more about what I do and where I am, then you can follow me on Instagram at The Boat Princess. You can also sign up to my newsletter on my website, which is theboatprincess.com. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and hopefully we'll see you on the water soon.